This is Irontrader. This is the last call of the day. So we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, at Ethereum, ETF, ETHU, gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas, and we'll take a look here at the indexes, which are pretty green right now. At the end of the video, the support and resistance levels are posted for crude and natural gas, along with the EIA report for crude oil. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy or selling stock market ETF. Please subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Bitcoin, your daily and your weekly chart. Now, before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to a friend of mine here that's in the room, Disciplined. Yes, I do remember you. I'm just so wrapped up into the stocks here, but I want to give a big shout out to you, and I appreciate you watching the videos. Okay, here we have Bitcoin. Now, you can see here how we rallied real nice, but all you have to do is watch that price channel. See, 18,298. Okay, that's the key. You have to close above it. That's going to be the key. Is you have to close above that price channel, then you can go higher. If you can't close above it, it's going to be pop and drop like here. Now, again, if we can get above that 18,295, then we're going to be looking at the top of today's candle was 119,145 level. Okay. Now we get above there. Here's your target right here. Okay, 119,810. We get above that. Here's your next target at 127.55. Then we go to the left. Your target is 120,255. Then your next resistance level is 122,955, and we always go to the left, 123,615, and then we come up here 123,755, and then there's your big retest at 125,200. You correct that? It's 130, 135. That's going to be your next levels. But big but here, you got to close above the 118,295. Okay, that's the key. You have to close above. So BITX, really, really good trading today. I'm long the stock, and I also trade it. This ETF, I mean, it's great. Paid a huge dividend I got last week, 62 cents a share. Wow. I mean, that's not too bad on 4,000 shares. That was a pretty good dividend. Now, I'm saying I'm holding it, and I also trade it because it's very, very volatile. Now, you can also go to the IBIT. Now, again, when you look at IBIT, that is up there 2.3%, and BITX is up 2.6%. Okay, so I like a little bit more juice. Now, if you can't handle juice, you can go to IBIT. That's always a good trade right there. Now, if we kind of lose this situation, we can't get through that 118,295, then what we want to do is we just follow these candles out. 117,685, we just do the reverse of what we had, 117,240 level. Then we'll come over here to yesterday's high, 115,765. But what we're really looking for is this 50-day at 115,140 level. Then we have that 21-day at 114,08. Then we have your 8-day sitting right here at 113,286, and then we have Hondo sitting right there at 111,981. Now, when you look at this chart here, a lot of people look at this and interpret it all different. They're looking at a head and shoulders pattern. Look at this. There's no head and shoulders pattern here, okay? This is a double top. See this? Very, very clear. You have a nice, good double top situation. It came right on down. We held the 100-day. It rallied up. Now, last week here, we had that big selling, okay, $1.5 billion in sales on Bitcoin. This liquidation. Now, that could be for people sell for a lot of reasons. Always remember that. They could be selling now for tax reasons here at the end of the year, or they could be doing anything. They just need some money, or say, maybe I'm going to go to Vegas or something. Who knows? Okay, but what that does is that triggers stops. Then there was $22 billion worth of options, and that's why it took it all down. The price all the way down. But again, always remember, look for opportunity. So we came down and we held this key level right here. This is very key, 107,790. We held that level, and then on Friday, we had that indecision candle, and then look at here. Boom, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, look at that, okay? Now, this is what you're watching, is that 118,295. Then we can go to today's high, then we just look right to the left. Everything is sitting right here, all your target zones on the upside. Okay, what's the downside? Yeah, there is support levels here, but just watch that 50-day. As long as we hold that 50-day, we're holding that 21-day, and we hold that 8-day. This is going to be sideways to up kind of an action. Now look at RSI. Now I never got to oversold. Now we're sitting at 57. Your green here, look at that. The green just went over your red, shows good momentum. Look at this, very, very nice. Now, weekly chart. Oh, you got to look at that weekly chart. Look at this, how nice. Held that 50-day all the way down. And Friday, last week, I should say, we put in that right below the 21-day. It looks like it's going to come right on down. However, boom, there it goes, okay? Got right back above the 21-day, above the 8-day, and now look at us, okay? Nice, big green candle here so far for the week. But again, it's only Wednesday. We have to make sure that we hold by Friday. We hold that 8-day, and we hold that 21-day. So for me, I am just scalping the BITX Okay, I did a little short ski. I admit I did a little short ski with the BITI here when we had this big red candle. I admit that I did that, but then again, you know what I'm saying? Then I got right when I see this candle right here, indecision candle, but it's an inside day. That was always good. And the next day, when you see that with that higher high, that green candle, that tells you got to get in at least to that 8-day, and then you see what happens, 21-day, and then went right up to that 50-day. So this was a really, really good trade. So you can hold, buy a stock and hold it, but you also can trade the same stock. Okay, so don't ever be afraid of that. Same way like I do with the NVIDIA. NVIDIA, I'm a long-term holder of this. Same way with Apple and Amazon and all these companies here, but I also trade it because it's very good trade. Anything that has the movement, one of the best one, obviously, is Tesla. That's a really, really good trade. Now, remember on Tesla, got to be a little bit careful because all those subsidies on EVs went out as of yesterday. Okay, so there's no more $7,500 tax credit on the electric vehicles. And Tesla now, since they heard that that came out with it yesterday, now they raised all the prices on their leases and they raised the prices on the cars, which makes no sense to me. But hey, that's the plan. But again, to me, I don't care what the company does. All I care is what the stock does. Okay, now. We look at their RSI, you got plenty of room here out to the upside. The green is below your red, but that doesn't mean they can't curl up nicely. But what I'm looking for is eventually is this retest of 125-200, and then we have to see what the reaction does. Does it blast through, or does it just do the same thing we had here? But usually on the third time, she wants to crack through. 130, 135 is going to be your target. All right, let's take a look here at gold and silver. But before we get to gold and silver, let's take a look at this Ethereum ETF. Sorry about that. I keep forgetting about this thing. I don't know why, because I only do it once a day. So, I kind of forget about it. But let's take a look at Ethereum here, okay? So you can see here, right now you're sitting at 49. That's not overbought, oversold. The green is below your red, but this is still looking very, very good, okay? So what we had here, we came all the way down. We sold all the way down here to this 109.21 level, okay? So we got right into this support level, if you look at it right here, that we held that situation, okay? So that was very, very good. Now, made a higher high here, okay? And then we put in another green candle, and then you can see how that 8-day stopped it, and today she just popped right up. Now, what we're watching on the upside is we're watching that 141 level, that's that 50-day. Then we're going to be watching that 142. Now, if we get above that, then we want to look to the bottom of this candle because that's the gap fill. That's what we want to look at, okay? So you're looking at 150.22. Then we want to look at the top of that candle at 158.10, okay? Now, if we can get above that, then we look at 159.50 because there's another gap in a fill. And then we look to the top of that candle at 165.12. And then you retest up there at 168.49. Okay, that is your upside. But right now, just watch that 50-day and that 21-day. If we get above it, just look for this gap fill right there. Okay, now downside, we just gapped up. So we have this gap again. So what we're watching here on downside is obviously is today's low, 137.40. Then we can come over here to the top of yesterday's high, 139.90 level. Okay, so you have that 137.40. Okay, 130.90. That's your gap fill. But then we watch that 128.86. That is going to be your nice 8 SMA. Then obviously we look to yesterday's low, 125.40. And then we can just venture up to the top of this here, 122.37 level. We come to the bottom, 114.84, and you retest 109. But right now here, we're looking right pinned right against that 50-day and that 21-day, and that's looking pretty good. Downside, just watch that gap fill and watch that key 8 SMA here. Now, look at how nice this is on the weekly. Came all the way down, but you notice that we've held that 50-day simple moving average, okay? So when we're up here, I said just watch that 8-day. Look how nice I was holding that for that 3 weeks straight, okay? I said, well, if it comes down, you can come all the way down to that 50-day. Didn't quite make it there, but you came pretty damn close. 107, okay? And then I say we came right all down here to your 109 level, right? And now if we lose that, you're going to come down to that 106. But right now, look at this. Yesterday, this was a bottoming tail last week. And now we have this nice green candle. So realistically, I'm looking for that retest of that 152 level if we can crack above that 50-day and that 21 SMA here. Look at this. You're sitting at 49. No, that's very, very nice. He's got plenty of room. And the same way here, plenty of room that's just starting to curl over. This green is still over your red, and you're only sitting at 55. Plenty of room to run to the upside. Now let's take a look at the gold and silver. All right, here we have the gold. Okay, so as I say this, I would say we're looking at 3,900. If we go past that, we're looking for 3,920. Sometimes, let's say when you get these numbers this high, it overshoots it and shoots all the way up. So we have right there at 3,922. So right now you're sitting at 38.91. Okay, so that's where we're sitting, 38.91. Now, when the price gets outside that price channel, it wants to come back in. See, outside, come back in. Outside, come back in. Outside, now it wants to come back in. Okay, so basically what you're watching is 3,900. That's what our key level is, what you're looking at. Then we can go to that 39.22, 39.50, and then we can go to that even 4,000 number, maybe even 4,020. Okay, so eventually, this is all we're doing with the government shutdown. To me, I always look at gold and silver as a fear factor. You can see Bitcoin's ripping back up here with that, kind of a situation. So I'll always kind of look at it as as a fear factor situation. But eventually, when this comes off, it's going to come off extremely hard. But in the meantime, ride that wave, but don't hold on it. You hit the shore, that's going to leave a mark. Okay, so on the downside here, basically what you're watching, today's low. Okay, you're watching at 38.80, and then we'll come top of that candle, 38.63. Okay, then we'll come over to the top of this candle here. This always want to look to the left, 38.24, and then we have your 8-day at 38.19. Long as we're holding that 8-day, it's going to be sideways to up action, just like we had here. See how up here, and then up action. Sideways, sideways, up action. Sideways, up action. Long as we're holding that 8-day. You lose that 8-day, this is going to be your target. Then we have your 50-day, and we have your 100-day. But right now, this is looking good. But we're sitting at 80, okay? That is very, very overbought situation. A lot of people jumping in, a lot of people late to the party, okay? So always remember that. Okay, now, 50-day over your, the green over your red. Very, very nice. Shows like this has massive, massive strength. So bottom line, watch 3,900 flat. Very, very key. Then 39.20, you crack above that, you're going to head for that 4,000 mark, just like what they want to take it to. All right, here we have the silver. Now, silver, same thing. Nice rally up, sideways action. Rally up, sideways action. Rally up, sideways action. Big time rally up here. And then we didn't get much of a side action, but yeah, look at here. Yesterday, bottoming tail. See that? And then it just rolls right on up here. Okay, so again, I made a video yesterday, came about 9 o'clock in the morning there, and it's about candlesticks, okay, and it's about chart patterns. Just take a look at it. Do yourself a favor. Just take a look at it, okay, and that gives you a good idea on, what the candles look like and why they're going to be taken off, okay? Here's a perfect example of a bottoming tail, and then today we had a nice good rally up. Now, we're looking at this down here. We're looking at 47, 47.50, 48. So it came in within 3, 48. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Now, next level there, obviously going to be 48.50, 49. But realistically, I think they're going to try to push this to that 50 mark. I really believe that they're going to try to do that. Now, you're sitting here again at 80. I'm not saying today, but right here, you're sitting at 80. That's way, way up there. Okay, so you're just like what you are here. So you got to be very, very careful. The green is over your red, but you're at nosebleed areas. Okay, downside here, well, you want to watch today's low. Okay, 46.81 level. Then we'll come down to the bottom of there. You're looking at 46.27. Then we'll look at a little sticky down here, 45.96. And then we have that 45.75. As long as you're above that 8-day, it's going to be sideways to up action. All right, let's take a look here now at crude oil and Natgas. All right, here we have the crude ski. Now, you can see here, it's holding. Okay, we made a low today, 61.40. Lower low, 61.45 is what we're looking at. Okay, very, very key, but on a closing basis. So again, so far, it's holding it. Okay, that's the key. Okay, so you got to figure you hit it right there, and then we hit it another time, held it, and now we're holding it again. So this 61.45 on a closing basis is key. That is going to be the whole ticket. You lose it, okay, right here is going to be your target at 59.74. Now, there is support here. Yeah, you have 61.06. Okay, we have 60.55. We come down here, 60.02. But this is your target, 59.74. Okay, we lose that right here. Bring this price channel right across, 57.74. That's your target. Then we come down there, you got 57.03. We work it there, 56.39, 55.30, and 55.12. Okay, but right now, just watch that level. You got to close below it. I really believe that we're going to be down in the 50s. Now, remember, OPEC meeting, I believe it's going to be this weekend. We got to see what they're going to do. Okay, if they start adding more crude or whatever they're going to do, that can take crude much, much lower. Now, again, we have to see. Again, anything that can happen with crude, that's why I like trading crude. Anything can happen. Okay, so you get yourself another war situation, or you get yourself disruption. Anything that can happen will take crude higher. But look at this topping tail, see? That's what I'm saying. Take a look at that video. When you see a candle like this, and then the next day you see where it makes a low, boom, down she goes. Very, very nice little short ski all the way on down. Okay, so I'm in the SCO right now. So I'm hanging tough with the SCO, and I just think that you're going to crack this, and this is just going to go lower. Now, upside, you want to watch yesterday's low, 62.03. Come to today's high, 62.89. But this is the big boy right here. It's at 63.29, and then your 8-day at 63.59, and then we have your 50-day. We have your 100 at 64.83. Then we can work yourself up here. Okay, what do you have? 65.40. We'll come up there, 65.72. Okay, 66.03, and then we look at sticky up there, 64.66. 66.42, and then 66.75 is your 200-day. But that's not what we have. Okay, so right here, right there, see that double top situation? Okay, boom. So when you look at these charts, everything doesn't line up absolutely perfect. It says, oh, this is exactly what it is. Now, sometimes they do. But you can see here the double top, even though you got higher, you could not close above that, and that takes it right down lower. Now, green crossed over your red, momentum to the downside, not good. 41, this is nowhere near oversold, so this could go much lower. Right now, I'm shorty SCO, and I'll see how that shakes out. Okay, Natgas, long UNG. Reason being is right here. Okay, see this? 2.77. What do you see here? 2.77. See that double bottom? See how nice that is? Okay, beautiful. See, 277. Price channel takes it right in there for you. Nice. Okay. Now, never did fill that gap. Don't have to. Okay. The key is it held the gap. Didn't have to go into the fill. And now look at that. You had a nice good rise up. Now, this was the contract roll, so it looked like it really popped up. But you notice it never sold down. It fell down. Look at this 8-day now. Crossed the 50-day, crossed the 21-day. Looking beautiful. Just beautiful. Now, had a nice green candle, got above the 100-day, stayed above the 100-day. But now look at this. Where did it go? Right into the 200-day. Look at that shit. Okay? Boom. 3.487. That's it. Okay? See, that's where it stopped at cold. Now, that's why you trade the chart. So then what the next level is, if you can close above that 348 level, okay, then we're going to come right up here to the top of that candle. You got 359, and then we have up here at 362. Bring that price channel right across. Next level, bring this price channel right across. Boom, right there, 375. Then we go to the left, 384. Okay, we'll come up top of here. You got 388, 394, 4 flat, and then 414. Okay, just like that. But you have to get above that 50-day. But look where it went. Right into that 200-day, and then to stop the cold. Okay, so I say that's why you want to just trade the charts. Now, RSI, yeah, we're getting up there, but we're not oversold yet. This could go higher. Green is over your red. This is still looking very, very good. Okay, now on the downside, you want to watch, obviously, is yesterday's high. That's going to be key. 3.35. We watch today's low, 3.31, and then watch the top of that candle, 3.29, and then we're going to come right down to your 100-day at 3.25. Okay, now we lose that. We want to come right top to there at 3.19 level. Then we just follow the candles down. What do you have? 3.16, 3.13. Then we have 3.10. Okay, then we have 305. But right here is going to be a critical one. That 309, that is your 8-day. Then we have your 21-day. Then we have your 50-day. That's going to be key. Now, give this a little chance here. When the futures open, that 8-day is going to be higher. And as that pushes up, that's going to provide very, very good support, just like it provided the resistance going on the way down. Then if we had support again, got above it, look at how nice that was. Okay, she's a beaut, Clark, until we got back below it again. And then she comes right on off. But really, really good trade. I'm long the UNG. I traded it also there today. Took a little bit off the table because we went right into the 200-day. But I'm still long. I just think it's going to be a cold, cold, nasty winter. Everything, all forecasts I'm reading is, and another thing I'm looking for, I know this sounds crazy, I said this before, is I watch the squirrels, okay? Some old dude, farmer, told me about these. Watch them squirrels, he said, and they'll tell you what kind of weather it's going to be. I'm thinking, wait a minute here. I trade natural gas. This could come in very handy. So, I mean, I've been doing this for over 2.5 decades. And I tell you, I see a lot of squirrels. I see a lot of gathering of nuts. I think maybe they know something that I don't. All right, let's take a look here at the indexes. All right, here we have the indexes. Now you can see here, even with the shutdown, we pretty much have an unstoppable market. Because the bottom line is this. I don't think anybody really gives a rat's ass to shut the government down. Okay, I just don't really think it really matters. Okay, even to look, okay, so if you're a retired person, Social Security is still rolling, Medicare is still rolling, unemployment is still rolling. All that stuff is still getting paid for. Okay, that's all. That's not going to be no stoppage. It's just going to be probably mainly the nonsense. And bottom line, traders are saying, well, okay, you got a big. I think the last time I lasted, it lasted like 35 days or something, but eventually it gets solved. Okay, and that's the same thing here. Eventually it'll get solved. So I think it's a nothing burger, but we'll have to see. Okay, so right now you can see. Look at this, how it came right down, held a 21-day. Look how nice this is. Held a 21-day, rally ran up here, and now we're holding that 8-day. Very nice. Let me see that bigger up in there for you a little bit. Yeah, okay. Now, look how nice it's holding that 8-day. Came all the way down, holding it nicely. Went lower yesterday, closed above. Lower, closed above. Lower, closed above. Very, very nice. Put a bottoming tail in here, and that set this thing right on up. So right now we made this high here of 46,529. There's only one target left. It's right here. That's it. You crack above there, you're going to 47,000. Okay, it's just that fact. But to me, this is a trader's market. Okay, I just trade this. I don't look at buy and hold kind of position. There's a lot of good trades. Nvidia, really good trade today. Amazon, great trade today. My TQQ is good trade there today. Microsoft, Apple is good trade. Google's a good trade. Palantir, Tesla, you know what I'm saying? Bitcoin, natural gas, crude oil short. Just a lot of really good stuff out there. Now, also check out CRK. That's Comstock Resources. That's the company that Jerry Jones owns. That's up there 6% there today, too. So keep your eye on that if you like to trade natty gas. Now, here we come. Okay, 67.17. That's no shock. Okay, so I was looking at the top of that price channel, and I said, let's say it's going to go down to 6,700. Okay, so what do we have? 6699.52. That's pretty damn close. Now, today, we break out of that, and then we close above that 6,700. Now 67.18, and you can work yourself all the way up to 6,800. You can work yourself up to 7,000 with this. So you just want to keep trading this on the S&P, even though we're at nosebleed here, you got negative divergence, you got all that. It don't really mean dick. This is just going higher. Okay, Nasdaq. All right, let's take a look at the old Nasdaq. Now we're watching right there, 22,801. That's going to be the key. Okay, so we cross above that, you're going to take it to 23,000. That's just that simple. Okay. Downside, just watch that 8-day. We lose that 8-day. We have the 21-day. We have the 50-day. The same here. We just watch that 8-day. We lose that. You got the 21-day. You have the 50-day. Same thing here. Okay. We have the 8-day. Lose that. 21-day. 50-day. Okay. It's just that simple. But right now, we got just a bender going up here, and it's just moving right on up here. Shutdown don't mean dick. Okay. Going higher. That's just it. But again, trader's market. Okay. Be smart about it. Be smart about it. Take money, put it in your pocket like I did on UNG today. It goes into 200-day simple moving average. Boom. I'm taking some money and I'm putting it in my pocket. BITX on a Bitcoin. Boom. I'm putting money in my pocket. Use stop losses. Okay. A market could turn. You get any kind of a news, anything that could turn this, you could turn this on a dime. Okay. Especially when you're at this negative divergence kind of situation. Negative divergence. And you're right at this freaking top. Okay? All right, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here tomorrow morning, and we'll do it all over again. And remember, Natty Gas tomorrow, EIA report will be out tomorrow at 10:30. Trade what's in front of you, not what you want.